Hey, what's up guys? It's Parnellyx, and today we're doing another VOD review. This time over Hornline, who I don't think is someone I've actually covered on this channel yet. He is right at this very moment the highest ranked Warwick player in the world, I believe. Rank wise, he's over 1,000 LP on EU West, so respectable server. And yeah, he's only like Warwick one trick that's at that level. And I'm actually very surprised that he's performing so well when Warwick, in my opinion, is not in a, well, not even in my opinion, Warwick is not in a very good spot right now. He's not like the weakest champion in the game or anything, but statistically speaking, Warwick's win rate is pretty poor right now. He's under 50%, and for a champion like Warwick, under 50% is like Warwick at like 49% win rate is like Rise at like 44% win rate. You know, it's like it's not a good spot for him to be, even if he is technically playable and he's actually okay. So I want to see what Hornline's doing to consistently win games here, especially considering his setup is very different from mine and very different than what I expect to be good. He likes to go Stride Breaker a lot. He likes to go Bork Stride Breaker. He likes to go Boots of Swiftness a lot. And he likes to go Lethal Tempo a lot. He goes Grasp or Lethal Tempo, but he doesn't go Press the Attack. He doesn't go Conquer, which I guess I don't really go that often anyways, but you know, in a champion like in a matchup like Jace right here, who often goes Phase Rush, which he is running in this matchup right now, I feel like Lethal Tempo just isn't super valuable, but he's still running it. Also, he's not even going Barrier. He's going Ghost TP. I think Ghost TP is fine. I think it's actually a pretty good setup. I like Ghost with Lethal Tempo a lot. I like Ghost in general. Like if you're, I mean, against Jace, I'd probably go Ghost every single time. The value of Flash is that it does help you avoid gank sometimes. You know, champions like J4, if they're going to gank you early on, you can just flash away from the EQ combo, which is good. But Ghost is going to give you a lot better scaling. So if you want to play for scaling, or if you want to run down your laner, Ghost is optimal. And because you can run down your laner here, Ghost is definitely going to be the play. But yeah, as far as his starting items, he's going D-Blade, which, considering he's going Lethal Tempo, is kind of expected. Although I will say versus Jace, I mean, versus Jace, going D-Blade start is, you know, it means he's going to be able to get poked out here. I think D-Shield's the way to go versus Jace. You go, if you just run double armor in your runes. Does he go double armor? No, he goes one armor, one adapt, of course. He runs down this Jace right here, and this man survives with like barely anything. That's without barrier too. That's a really good start for him. But I think versus Jace that you should be going, I think you should just go double armor in the runes, regardless of what your keystone is. To go double armor in the runes, go second winds, D-Shield, and unless he's going Conquer, he can't ever really kill you. Like you just sustain through all this poke. I feel pretty confident in the Jace matchup, so I'm not too worried about it. But he's playing for a he's playing a matchup where he's down to eat the poke, but he's just playing for kills. You know, he wants to have the kill pressure over Jace. I guess it's more carry oriented. Honestly, it's less safe. Just more about once you get ahead like this, now Jace can't do anything. Now he's got. You get that second kill there? Yeah, he's got 2 kills. Really good Maokai ganks. This actually explains a lot of how he's climbing. I do not get these Maokai ganks ever. My jungler never in the history of time has ever ganked top lane when I'm playing Warwick top lane. It's always the enemy jungler pathing. He goes from like, he'll go from blue buff level 2 gank top lane, do Krugs level 2 gank top lane, pick red level 3 gank top lane. That's basically the top lane Warwick experience for me. Granted, obviously he probably doesn't have this luxury that he's having right now every single game, and I think a part of it honestly is due to the fact that he, you know, a difference so far in how he's playing versus how I play, and probably one of the reasons why I'm so gank prone is I play for an early game push. I play for an early game push. I'm trying to get every CS. I'm trying to bully my lane opponents. That's going to attract the jungler to come towards your lane, but he just let himself get shoved in. He gave up some CS. He's just trying to kind of survive here, and just like he was, I mean, as you can see, he was waiting to all in the Jace when he was pushing under the turret. I think even though his Maokai was there, regardless of if Maokai was there or not, he was still looking to go for that long extended lane all in with his Ghost. So that's kind of the strategy that he's safe to early ganks and has the ability to run down the Jace after he pushes all the way in. And that makes Jace more gankable. That makes Maokai want to come top lane more. That's pretty good. This right here. So you could actually, like, if this minion wave wasn't there, he could actually kill the Jace. But the problem is that big minion wave is going to do a lot of damage to him. So he has to actually just kind of walk back and he can't go for it. Unless he had barrier. If he had barrier, he probably could maybe try it. That's a Warwick ult. That's a Warwick main ult, if I ever saw one. The gap closing ult, though. You don't need to actually land your ult all the time. It's kind of a meme, but like it's actually true. You really can just use your ultimate as a gap closer sometimes. Although I wouldn't say that was the best way to do it because he got knocked back afterwards, but still managed to secure the kill. He honestly probably could have just like not ulted at all. Could have just walked up if he was going to do it like that. But it's fine. We got 3 kills on the board. We got J4. It's a Gurren here. This is the rank 1 player on. Well, I don't know if he's rank 1 right now. But he's often rank 1 jungler on EU West. The clean Q versus the Jarvan EQ combo. Very easy, by the way, to avoid the Jarvan EQ combo. You have to pay attention to Jarvan's model. The flag you'll like see the animation if you just look at Jarvan. You'll see that his flag come down, and once you see his flag go down, you just start holding Q on J4 before he even dashes to you, and you'll be able to avoid the knockup. So he actually goes for the early Boots of Swiftness here. He goes for early Boots of Swiftness. He also goes for early Hearthbound Axe, which... So he's going for Stridebreaker Rush here. I think in a lot of matchups, I think he goes Bork Rush. But against Jace, obviously, especially when he's this far ahead, he doesn't need the extra damage from Bork. He just needs to get on Jace, and then he'll just kill him, like simply put. So now, because he's got so much movement speed right now, Jace just can't play the game. And he's also got lethal tempo, so his DPS isn't even that bad. And I guess that's kind of the idea of this build. When you're going Stridebreaker and you're going Boots of Swiftness, that's one of the reasons why you can just afford to go lethal tempo into some of these matchups is you just pop the Stridebreaker, run at them, and you just start auto-attacking. You have Ghost as well. We got TP coming in here. Put in the wave. Notice a fight was coming in. Just go ahead and just pick up this kill to freebie. Want to make sure that you get that ult off right around the corner, so that Kai'Sa can't react to it. So it was in the fog of war that ult was coming from, and it also just, if you kind of wait at all, you give Kai'Sa, better chance of outplaying it, or maybe her flash could have came up. Her flash wasn't going to come up, but obviously Warwick wouldn't have really known that. So you just want to make sure that you're getting the highest % chance of getting that ult to attach, and then you get the free kill. So now we're actually doing a little bit of a lane swap here. It's kind of weird. This is only just because Warwick obviously TP bot lane. He's bot lane. Ezreal and Ashe are in base though. So the natural thing is to just do a little temporary lane swap here so that no minions are lost. Warwick obviously can't really do too much right now in the 1v2 lane. I think if he has his ultimate up and he has Stridebreaker, he actually could probably 1v2, like low key. But let's see, does he have Stridebreaker now? He does. So he's got Stride. I actually do think Stridebreaker does look pretty good against the enemy team comp right now. The only thing about going against Jace is he has Phase Rush, which obviously avoids slows. But as long as you just like hold, like what you do in that situation is you let Jace pop the Phase Rush, and then once it's done, then you pop the Stridebreaker, and then he's just dead. J4 is down here to cover. He recognizes that Warwick's down here by himself, so he's just going to cover, make sure that Warwick doesn't know what to do. But because Maokai's here, I think they can just kill everything. Pretty sure you can kill everything. This looks like a beautiful Stridebreaker. Oh, I like this. I like this a lot. Hold Q. There we go. Beautiful from Hornline. Now you just wait for your Q cooldown. Yeah, there you go. Stall it a little bit. Dive. That was really well played. Really well played. Perfectly played, actually. I really like that he feared everyone, and so he feared everyone, and then he and popped Stridebreaker, and then he decided, you know, everyone else is dead. Let's ult the Kai'Sa, make sure she doesn't get away. Really good Q follow by him as well. Another thing I want to point out, by the way, about Hornline, check out his ability max. This is very popular among Warwick mains nowadays. Do not max Q. You do not want to max Q on Warwick top lane or Warwick jungle or Warwick at all. Warwick's Q does not scale very well per level, so you do not want to max this ability. But the interesting thing here is that a lot of Warwick mains still put like 2 or 3 points into Q. But he just does 1 point in Q. I noticed he does this consistently. He's just 1 point in Q. I think this actually might be the play, considering that everyone's building anti-healing versus you nowadays, because Grievous Wounds is so strong. They got buffed 2 patches ago. You don't really get any value of putting any points in Q. Like, it gets you some value in the early game, but like it just eventually just becomes wasted points once they build that anti-healing. So you'd rather just put points into your W or your E, which are much stronger abilities. Hornline actually, he goes for W max a lot. I don't know if he goes E max sometimes. I'd have to double check his match history. I'll link his OPGG in the description. But I think it's very ballsy to go for straight W max like this. I sometimes like to get a couple points in W, but then max E afterwards. But I suppose, actually, like I said initially in the video, the beginning of this video, my complaint with going Stridebreaker is you lack damage. But if you're maxing W, you're going to have plenty of damage. Your problem with maxing W is you don't have sticking power. But with Stridebreaker, you have sticking power. So it kind of makes up in itself. You're going to have the damage and the sticking power with just straight up W max. But now the problem is that you're going to be that you're kind of squishy without the points in E. But it's fine, because you're gonna now we're gonna start putting points in E. We'll have like probably 3 or 4 points by the time team fights break out, so it's not really gonna be an issue. You just have to play smart in a day. I still think it's good at sometimes to max E, definitely. If you're playing against champions that are very bursty, E max is very good. I mean, if Jace got ahead, you might consider going E max, or at least putting a couple points into E. But because he's so far ahead of Jace, there's not really any threat of him killing Warwick. So no point. Gonna run this guy down. I think the Boots of Swiftness is very interesting though, because like he goes at like every game. Like I understand going at sometimes, but he goes at like every single game. I think there's definitely times where Plays Steel Gods were obviously the best. Definitely times where Merc Treads is obviously the best. But if it's not obviously the best, he's going with Swiftness a lot. And my default boots, when nothing else stands out, is Boots of Lucidity. But he likes the extra movement speed and the slow resist from Boots of Swiftness. And that might be really good, because one of Warwick's problems is that his base movement speed is very low for no reason at all. So this just completely removes that issue. Now you're faster than everyone else with your base movement speed. Plus you have the Stridebreaker. Passive, the 2% increase movement speed per legendary item. So yeah, movement speed is no longer a problem. Sticking is no longer a problem. Damage is no longer a problem. The only issue at this point with this build is you're still gonna be kind of squishy. But it's still not that squishy, right? Like, you're not that squishy. Especially, yeah, once you start putting points into E, you still have moments where you are very tanky. I think he goes... What he actually likes to go after Stridebreaker Bork is he typically goes something like a Dead Man's and a Wit's End. Very classic Warwick items, honestly. And not something, those aren't really items that I build. I don't think I go Wit's End that often. I feel like other MR items are just better a lot of the times. Dead Man's Plate is something where like that's actually an item I think is actually kind of underrated on Warwick, at least by me, because I just don't ever really build this, even though I'm pretty sure it actually would be good, because it lacks a lot of stats, but the movement speed value is pretty ridiculous. Still doesn't have his Bork. Really good TP. But notice how he is looking for these TP angles. He's looking very often for these TP angles. That's what you got to do when you have TP. When you have TP, you have to always be looking at the map and ready to flank. The nice thing about TP and Warwick outside the laning phase, once you get into like mid-late game, is the fact that you can just split push very consistently, and you never have to really worry about not being there for the fight, because you can always TP to the fight. He's got his Bork now. And I mean, yeah, he's the strongest champion on the map, I'm pretty sure. He's up there at least. His teammates are pretty fed. His team's up a lot of gold here. Bit of a stomp at this point. I think this game goes a little bit longer though, so I feel like there's just some kind of throw that happens here. Like I said, I really just want to see the value of this build. Like that's the thing that interests me, is this build. This build, how does he play with the build? And so far, well, to be fair, so far, like he kind of just spoon-fed some kills early on. So, in like a more even matchup, I would be curious to see how he like goes about playing an even lane with the Stridebreaker. But he's just attacking the sides right now. Gonna push in this Herald. Everyone's kind of mid lane. Jace is top, but you don't really care about Jace. You're out pushing the Jace, so like it doesn't really matter. Yeah, he's good ult cancel. Canceled the Nautilus ult. Stridebreaker disengaged. Stridebreaker is such a versatile active for Warwick. It allows you to stick onto people, run them down, but it also allows you to disengage. And that does kind of fix a lot of Warwick's tankiness problems sometimes. Because people aren't going to be able to attack you after they're slowed a bunch. You can just kind of slow them, walk away, return to the fight when your cooldowns come back up. This is a free kill from Silas. Man was inting. I'm pushing mid. Now we probably just look to just steal some of these camps and recall. Unless what wins is okay. So this ult's coming up in about 20 seconds. That's your window. You really just want to wait for your ultimate to come up here, and then you can start looking for kills again. Warwick ultimate it's honestly not a very strong ultimate in the grand scheme of things, just because of how it's like, if it lands, it's like it's all right. It's like decent, but it's got a lot of inconsistencies in it. It's very easy to cancel, very easy to dodge. That's kind of the issue with Warwick ultimates, but Warwick is pretty reliant on using it to score some kills a lot of the times, especially when you are going a more carry-oriented build. It has a lot of damage. You're not super tanky. You can't just walk up to people, you know, and then just fear them and start auto-attacking them. Not if when everyone's grouped, at least. It also allows you to gap close. Very, very nice ultimate to have in Warwick. So like when your ultimate's up, that's when you have a lot of kills back. Now like I said, he's going into. So this is interesting. Like I said, he's going into Dead Man's Plate and Wit's End, but he didn't. He's kind of splitting into like both. He got a Chain Vest and he got a Hearthbound Axe. I'm not sure which one he's preferring or why he's doing this. Maybe he just He really likes the movement speed from Hearthbound Axe. I think he's just maybe just like looking to get as much movement speed as possible, as early as possible. So he's probably like maybe looking to go into like Deadman's first, but he's like, I can buy Hearthbound Axe, so I'm gonna take the extra movement speed. Yep, just like that. Once Jace's phase rush ends, then you pop the Stride Break. I mean, he was dead anyways, but that's a thought process at least. Again, continue to split. When you got TP, you split. This TP's up. Force them onto you. It looks like they're contesting the Baron. At least Silas is over there for the Baron. Oh wait, no, everyone's okay. Everyone else is dead. I didn't even notice that. So everyone's dead, so you just get a free inhib here. Probably just push this end and then just walk away. You can't really do anything. Also, I know in his runes, by the way. So his runes, I didn't even really fully cover his runes. Lethal Tempo, I think he goes Presence of Mind. I didn't actually check if he goes Presence of Mind. He goes Presence of Mind. Either goes Alacrity or Tenacity. And then Last Stand. And then he goes Revitalize and Demolish. He goes Demolish a lot. Which, if you are running TP and you're playing a more split push oriented play style, that's really, really good. It gives Warwick some really good tower split push tower taking potential. I really like Demolish for snowballing. The problem is sometimes not having second winds can make your lane a little bit riskier. So my recommendation is if you're not super comfortable in a matchup, just go like second wind or bone plating or something. But if you're very comfortable, if you know that you're going to be able to win the matchup, or you feel like that you're confident that you'll be able to win lane, then go Demolish and snowball a little bit harder. For some platings, push the turret faster. Okay, he's just playing for the... Okay, he's just hitting the front line. Just kind of fast forward, see what happens here. Ezreal kind of entered there. He's back, baby. His ultimate's almost up. He's gonna go ahead and just take this red. Up. I feel like you might as well take this red because your ultimate's not up. So you don't have like too much threats. Might as well take the red. When your ult's up, then you can look to join the fight. That was an interesting play from J4 there. Yeah, see, that's you lack the stats to do like anything like that, you know, unless he's able to. I mean, with Stride Breaker and Ghost, a lot of times you are able to like just kill the damage dealers first, kill the Kaisa, move on to like the Silas, but he just kind of burned everything. He got kited basically in an awkward position. Let's see, he's got Wit's End. So he rushed the Wit's End. I was going into the dead man's plate. Okay. Looks like the game's not over quite yet. He's just gonna just go back top lane and continue splitting. But his team's not able to pressure right now, so once the moment that the enemies show up, he has to just kind of back off here. Just thinking about splitting, you gotta know, like, key thing to split pushing is knowing when to back off. People always think about split pushing means just pushing as much as you possibly can, but that's not true. Like, you have to, like, the skill in split pushing is knowing when you can push and when you just need to just back off. Chill. Okay, so he's gonna recall here. Finishes his dead man's plate. Wow, this is very interesting. I'm so very surprised. I think this was actually bad by him to go for this. I think this was bad by him. I think you could. Well, never mind. Maybe his team is hard. That's probably the thought process. Let me actually go back there. I want to see what he saw because he was obviously looking mid. I just feel like this is a nasty flank angle. Well, I guess never mind, his teammates were caught out. I lied. I was gonna say, it looks like a nasty flank angle, but his teammates were inting, and they didn't get any damage off, so you can't really go for that fight there. Although I will say, like, yeah, you're giving up the push. I guess TP was kind of trash. Unless... There's no way. The mid team was kind of going for an ends. They're a desperation ends. They've been down the entire game. And now Warwick's just able to end. Okay, well, that was a very random way to end the game. A very, very random way to end the game. But that right there is Hornlion's Stridebreaker Warwick build. Very heavy investment into the movement speed. He's got TP. He's going for a split push. Key thing in the early game versus Jace in particular here was that he let Jace shove in early, make some very safe to ganks, but it also allows him to run down the Jace if his jungler's not there to cover, or in this case, his jungler was there to cover. Maokai was, so he was able to get a solo kill that way. But yeah, I think I want to try out this build a little bit more. I think that honestly, it might be really good considering that Warwick's items have been nerfed a lot frequently. Something like Divine's not as strong with Grievous Wounds Rush being so good, and Jack Show's not very good. So I feel like Stridebreaker might be the way to go. I am curious to see how he plays versus tankier matchups. Probably Bork Rush, but I'll cover that more this week. So let me know what you guys think of the video. Thanks for watching. Peace out.